What's good? It's Rockie Fresh checking in with AllHipHop.com. Get in tune.
Chicago.
What is going on? 5 projects? How's it been making all that material?
I just like making music, man. It actually hasn't been like that hard for me to do. I've been really, I grew up listening to Lil Wayne and people like that who just put out music non-stop. I remember downloading Lil Wayne mixtapes for 30 songs, all just freestyle songs that he couldn't make money off of or anything like that. Just because he enjoyed doing his craft so much and, you know, he wanted to get better at what he was doing. Just kept working at it, and that's kind of what I do. I'm super young, so at the same time, I got a lot of learning to do. I got a lot of getting better to do. And a lot of it is trial and error, so with those mixtapes, it's just me working to get better at my craft, giving people, you know, my ideas, the rough drafts of, like, what I plan for my album to be, and that's really what it was, man, just pressing with the music.
And now you're on a nationwide tour
Yes,
with G-Eazy starting in 3 weeks. I mean, what's the preparation and expectations for that tour?
I got high expectations for it. At the same time, I've been touring a lot since I dropped my first mixtape back in '09. So it's something that I'm used to, but every time it's something different. So I come into it with an open mind, and I just like to see, you know, what the fans bring to the table energy-wise. I love performing new records, so I'm gonna be giving away some new records in the form of performance, like the next time that, you know, I go out on this tour. And to be on tour with G-Eazy is dope too. Me and him are building a real solid relationship. That's one of my homies. And yeah, it's gonna be dope, man. So
It's true. And you and Casey, at the end of the year, like right at the end of the year, I think it was the middle of December, you dropped Fresh Veggies for free.
Yeah.
It's for the people.
Yeah.
And then weeks later, went and performed, did a little mini tour in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Brooklyn.
Yeah.
How are you able, or how do you sustain that independent type of grind while signed to like a big label like MMG?
I think that's one of the reasons why I signed to MMG is because Ross was more so, the relationship that me and him have is like a little brother, big brother kind of thing. And of course, you know, it's business involved. But at the same time, he really had an appreciation for my vision and the way that I like to work and the things that I wanted to do beforehand. And so with that, he kind of, you know, allows me to really, you know, navigate in the ways that I want to. But at the same time, it's because the common goal is making a classic album. That's something that I expressed to him that I wanted to do from the jump. Told him I'm going to be working on a lot of mixtapes. There's going to be a lot of, you know, practice going into it. But at the same time, the end goal is for me to give something that, you know, all of the fans can appreciate, not just rap fans, but people all throughout, you know, music. And at the same time, in order for me to do that, I got to stay true to my roots. And me and Casey have been cool since '09. So we always talked about doing a project together, and we just been moving up together, and we both got ideas with Puma, and Puma really got behind us with the idea for this. And so with that, with their support, with the support of our, you know, our team, Rock Nation really held down certain things on his level. Of course, you hear Ross on the project, you know, doing his thing. So it's just, it was a real group effort. It came together easy. We didn't take a lot of time doing it because me and him had records stacked up anyway. We was always seeing each other, so it just came together smooth. And with that, you know, I felt better after it, you know, versus being tired. It was like it was a good feeling, man. I was happy to hear that.
So Ross is dropping his song with Jeezy today.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, you grew up listening to Lil Wayne, so I'm sure you grew up with the Jeezys and the Ross way back in the day. So how does it feel knowing that these two have mended their fences and now
it's awesome, man. You know, and that's the thing that I think is bigger than, you know, what the Twitter world and what the Instagram world can really like see. It's like in the real scheme of things, as African American people, we're supposed to be able to work together. We're supposed to be able to put our differences aside and, you know, move forward for the betterment of the culture, you know, that we represent. And that's why me and Casey did what we did. That's why you see Jay-Z and Kanye doing the albums that they do. And it's just a beautiful thing that, you know, Jeezy and Ross have been able to come to terms so that they could do a record as well. I'm looking forward to hearing it just like everybody else.
So after 5 years, you're basically a veteran in the mixtape circuit. After 5 years, 8 projects, what's going to differentiate your album from what you've done?
Storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just due to the way that I like to work on my mixtapes, it's supposed to be current, which is why I will always release, you know, a project every year. And it's just that in 2013, it was more going on in my life than ever before. So it was just a lot of different events, you know, that I could speak on, which caused for me to do a lot of projects. But there's been like major moments in my life, you know, defining moments that I've yet to speak on because I've been saving them for the album. And I feel like, you know, are relatable to a lot of people's situations, and them being able to get to from point A to point B and wherever they're at in their life, whether you want to graduate from school, whether you're trying to get a job, whether you're trying to make a sports team, or whether you're trying to be an artist like me. There's certain things that, you know, people can identify with that I've been through at this point. And I think with me being a little bit older, you know, I'm 22 now, I'm going to be 23 in April. And also just people seeing my situation. I've been signed for 2 years. People can really respect just the knowledge that I have about certain things. And so with that, I'm ready to talk about a lot more personal events. You're going to meet a lot of my friends and family by name, you know what I'm saying, in the album. And different things like that are going to come to life where you're really going to get an inside look at everything that's going on. Like the way I look at it, this is going to be like a movie based on a true story, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you're going to get pretty visual with this new album.
Definitely.
Will you do any visuals to match it, like any kind of acting yourself?
Totally. And I think too it's going to be easy because the stories are going to be so on point with, you know, what I've really been experiencing. But that's a huge part of it, is making sure that we paint that picture visually for the fans to really be able to see what's going on. But also having that imagery in the music. You know, I feel like rap has always been a big thing about punchlines, but at the same time, music has been about really painting a picture where visually you can start at the top of a verse, and by the time you at the end of the 16, you have a whole mental picture of what's going on in your head. And so that's what this album is about. Every song is going into it with that format.
So how do you feel about the Kendrick Lamar and Macklemore situation? Macklemore winning the best rap album and best rap Grammy song.
I think, you know, Macklemore got what he deserved, you know what I'm saying? Like the Grammys, they had their idea of what's going on. I'm not a person that is technically a part of that. Actually, I did just join the Grammy board, so, you know, I'll be able to vote things on the next go-round. With that being said, you know, I liked a lot of rap albums. Macklemore did his thing, Kendrick did his thing. I also feel like Drake had a solid album. I feel like Yeezus was dope too. So, I mean, it could have went either way, and, you know, it went the way it went. And I think Kendrick also had a really dope performance, you know what I'm saying, at the Grammys too. So, you know, he got his just due with that. It's a dope situation all the way around.